Hey everybody, Kristen here. Good morning from Phoenix, Arizona. Today I want to talk to you guys about releasing dense and low vibe energy. I think something that is purely underestimated and not given enough credence with among us human beings is the fact that we are energetic and that we can read and pick up other energies around us. Now, this isn't a bunch of woo-woo. This is straight up science. This is a thing. It is woo-woo too, but it's also, there's so much truth. So this morning, I started crying. I'm not a big crier, but I just literally started crying, and I let myself cry, and I got on my knees on purpose. I just kind of sat on the ground, sat on my butt actually, and had my legs out, and I just sat there and I cried because I was feeling very, very frustrated and a little disappointed with something going on in my life. And I was like, geez, and I just let myself cry because I notice a lot of times that I will hold myself back from crying because I'm in public, or I don't want to mess up my makeup, or I have to be somewhere. Or I know that if I let it out, it's going to be, the floodgates are going to just go out because I've been holding it back for so long. So is that you, Frankie? Did you join me? If you did, that is really bitchin', and I love you. I miss you. So a lot of times that I withhold it. Also, growing up in a community full of boys, that if I cried, that was an issue because they didn't want to be around some girl that's crying all the time, and I had to be like one of the boys. I had to be tough, or else they didn't want me around. So I let that energy out this morning, and that's what's promoting me to make this Instagram live this morning, because I want to talk about releasing low vibe energy, because you may not even know you're carrying it around. And if you're carrying around that ish, it is literally like carrying weight on top of you. You've heard so many times people say, that was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. And yes, because that's what energy feels like. It feels weighty, it feels heavy, it's dense. So releasing that energy from you is going to feel lighter, and it's going to make you happier and more joyful, and it's going to make you function better in the world and make better decisions. Yesterday I was coaching a client, taking her through the self-love to soulmate. Hi baby, I miss you. Hi Taya. Oh, I miss that name. What was I saying? I'm taking her through the self-love to soulmate masterclass, and always around module 2, there is this like mind-blowing thing for people. I mean, they just really, something clicks in them. And I can literally see, it's almost like I can see the weight lifting off of her shoulders. I can see, her whole essence relaxed, her whole body relaxed. And my screen got dark for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe my phone's getting hot, so I'm going to turn it. Her whole body relaxed, and she just said something just shifted inside of me. I also have another client that says that. She goes, I just felt the weight come off of me. So there's several reasons why this is happening. One is that when we talk about what's going on inside of us, and with an open heart and an open mind, we're actually allowing new perceptions in, because we are only one person with one little tiny brain. And we can only think the same thoughts. Actually, it is a proven fact that we think about 60,000 thoughts a day. 60,000. And 95% of those thoughts are repeating. They're the same thoughts. So we're in this little cycle pattern, and we're looking for answers and solutions, but we're not talking about it. We're not sharing it. We're not researching. We're not trying to find any answers. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to perpetually loop the same patterns in our lives. So by talking about it, we are allowing new perceptions in. And this is why it's hard for those people out there that think they're know-it-alls. And I don't say that with judgment, because you can't possibly know it all. You might know a lot about your stuff. You might know a lot about a particular area, a particular niche, but we cannot possibly know it all. So by talking about things, we are quite literally bringing in new information that we didn't have before. And it's mind-blowing when we get information that shifts us in some way, brings us, it's like, wow, because it changes the way we're feeling, it changes the way we're thinking, it's going to change the way we're acting, and that's a perception shift. and that's an energy release. So that's one. Two, crying. I cannot tell you, people cry in my chair. They're in my office. That's what they do. We cry. I cry. But sometimes they show up at my door crying. I'm not kidding. I open the door. I'm like, hey. And they're just sobbing. Okay. They're like, I'm sorry. The first thing I say to them is, don't be sorry. You're just releasing energy. This is energy that's built up inside of you. It's emotion. It's lack of understanding. It's frustration. It's fear. It's anger. It's all kinds of things that has built up inside of us. And guess what? We were given this little release valve called tears for a reason. I once heard all the science behind that. I don't remember that now, but you can research it. There's literally a thing that happens that is for us to release. It's a release valve that we were given before we came here. So stop being shameful about your tears. There's nothing wrong with tears, okay? Tears are good. Tears are good. We might have been taught that they were bad because, like I was saying, my message of tears at the top of this Instagram live is that, I was not allowed to cry because I was a bother. I was a problem. So, and this was not a message that anybody was trying to give me directly. It's just what I gleaned from the behavior of people around me, and being that we are human beings and we seek approval naturally because we want to belong and fit in. I was like, oh, crying makes me unpopular amongst the boys and my brothers of the neighborhood, so I better not cry. I better act like a boy. So somehow I learned not to cry. But God dong it, doggone it, crying is a release valve, and it is important, and it is for a reason. So don't hold back your tears. Let those tears rip. People are like, but it's at the most inconvenient times. Don't worry about that. If you need to cry and excuse yourself, let a couple tears out, just let the pressure off, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. Or start working on crying in front of people. That's about being vulnerable. Who freaking cares? You're crying, you're a human being, you're allowed to cry. I'm giving you permission to cry. And you boys, you can cry. You men, there's something really special about when a man tears up. You guys think it's pussy stuff. It's not. I know so many women that are like, oh yeah, my husband tears up, and we like an open heart, man. We like that. Anyway, not going to go off about crying. You guys get my point. The other thing is to release toxic energy by filling yourself with positive energy. And we can do that in two ways. One, walking, hiking, exercising. We know the whole endorphin thing, so I won't go into all that. You can research that. We are filling ourselves with positive energy in that respect. Number one. Number two, and I'm forgetting number two. But here's another one, drinking water. Water has all kinds of special properties in it which can lift us up. When we are dehydrated, we are not going to be lifted up, okay? So we need to have water. It's all basically I drink all day long. That and green tea. I don't drink anything else. I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink sodas. I don't drink anything. I drink water and green tea. I drink the green tea because I get bored of water sometimes. All right, I digress. Another thing is breathing. Again, breathing. I could go into all the reasons why breathing is the thing. When we are inhaling the light and exhaling the dark, we are clearing our energy field, proven fact. All right? I recently did this because I had a low vibe, super dense client, a couple, dense energy, sending her love. This is nothing, I'm not judging her, but about a month or two ago, and man, that ish stuck on me for about 2 weeks. It was tough. And I did this in with the light and out with the dark, and I'm talking inhale and exhaling that, inhaling, exhaling that. We're not messing around here, folks. We're not playing around with this, getting this energy out, having a little, no. That's not working. We got to do that serious inhale, exhale. If you're embarrassed about doing it in front of people, go do it in your room by yourself. Go into the bathroom at work, wherever you got to do it. Excuse yourself. Breathe that in and exhale that out. In with the light, out with the dark. In with the light, out with the dark. Another thing is if we're around people that are low vibe or toxic, because that's a thing too, that we can't escape it. We got negative people in our life. We got fearful people in our life. And, the more energetically sensitive you are, the more this is going to attach to you. And chances are, if you're doing your healing work, you're going to get more energetically sensitive along the way. It's just a thing. You're opening up your chakras, you're opening up your heart, you're opening up the cells of your body, you're opening up your mind, you are connecting with universal energy, with love, with God. You're probably going to get more sensitive. I know that I certainly have along my path. You can, when you are sitting with those negative people, instead of joining that negativity and that dark energy by saying to yourself, oh God, in your head, oh God, there he goes again. I can't stand being around him. He sucks. He's, blah, 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 she, whatever, whoever. Do this. It works. And I love this so much. Just zone out from what they're saying for a minute. Just see them as a child of God, innocent, just in their fear at this moment, because that's what negativity is. It's fear. Just in their fear. Because if we're not in love, we're in fear. Period. End of story. There's no middle ground. You're not in love, your higher self, your God self, your loving self, you're in fear. Your lower self, your ego self, your fearful self. If this person is not in their loving high self, they are in their fearful self. Send them love for being an innocent child of God, of the universe, because that's what they are. That's what we all are. We're making all kinds of mistakes. We have no clue. That ego is loud, and we want to attach to that mofo. We're like, ooh, squeaky wheel, let me listen. No. That's all that's happening with your person. Blast them with light. And I'm talking about you picturing this blast of light. You can cartoon image it in your mind if you want. This blast of light, golden light, shooting into them. While you're sitting there, listening to their whatever they got going on, blast that light into them. And watch what happens. Every single time I do this, here's what happens. I blast it into them, and then all of a sudden, I don't pick a time to stop it. It just kind of stops. And then I am more centered, and they're not bugging me anymore. But I also shot light into their ego, into their body, into their heart, into their thing. But here's the thing about light. Because people think, aren't we manipulating somebody else? Are you manipulating someone else? No, it's not about manipulating someone else, because here's the key. I'm getting really thirsty. It's dry out here. My water's on my bike. There it is. Here's the key. We got free will, y'alls. We got free will. And although we can send light and love influence to another person, it is their choice whether they allow it to sink in or not. And that has everything to do with how attached they are to their ego and how open their heart is. They might feel this moment of brightness, and some people will go, ooh, the light, and they'll want to go into that brightness. And some people will go, they'll feel it, but they're so dark, they're so dense, they're so negative, they're just going to push it out, or they're so dark, so dense and negative, they don't even notice it. Do you see what I'm saying? Have you ever had that where you were so in your mind and a bomb blows up next to you and you don't even notice because you were so focused on something else? The same thing happens with us. If we're so dark in our ego, the light can show up right smack in front of us, and we're like, get out of my way. I can't see my darkness. I can't see my anger, my negativity, and my complaining. Get that out of my way. So you can send that light to them. And if they're willing, you're going to see a brightness happen inside of them. Even if it's just something like they just stop complaining for a minute. Or they say, yeah, I'm just going on and on about this. Whatever it might be. You can influence that in a loving way. And by the way, anything ever of love, of God, of spirit is never, ever, 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 pretend I said that a million times, wrong. It can never be wrong because it's of love. It's of the highest truth. It's of universal truth, spirit, love, God, the highest power in we can't even know because the galaxies and the universe goes on infinity. Okay, it's the greatest superpower ever. So nothing that you say that is rooted in love, or anything that you do, any actions you do that is rooted in love, is ever wrong. It can't be. Okay? There's one more thing I want to do, but I wish I was hand-free to do it. To get negative and dense energy off of me, I wipe my legs, I wipe my arms, I wipe my back, I wipe my chest, I wipe my belly, I wipe my face, I do it in my hair, and the whole time I say, get this off of me, I'm removing this from me. Think about just patting dust off of you. You've been working in the yard, you're getting your dust off of you. And negative dark energy, or dense and dark and heavy energy can attach to you like that. So just wipe that ish off. Wipe it off. Of course, there's other things like saging your house, saging you, those type of things. I like those rituals, I do. But I like to stick with, for me, what works for me. And those are the things that work for me. So with y'all, if that saging works for you, by all means, sage away. If you want to put salt around the perimeter of your house, put salt around the perimeter of your house. I'm not attached. You don't be attached. You are your own authority, and you get to decide. Also, if you have a way that you like to get the ish off of you, please comment below, because I would love to hear about this. Or if you've got something from this live video, because I would super love to hear back from you guys about what you do, because I'm learning I'm learning all the time too. So with that, I'm going to sign off. I don't even know how long this has been, but I want to let you guys see my beautiful tree. Okay, this is my new favorite tree, and when I'm on bike rides and I get an idea for some sort of content, I come and park my little self by my tree because I like my tree. I even sacrificed my yoga pants by sitting in wet soil, and I'm gonna walk into Starbucks with a wet ass, and I don't care. Love you. Bye everybody, thanks for being here.